Welcome to No One's Story is Real. Now, I'm going to make this brief because it's a life story, and life stories are always really long, so I'm going to do my best to make it short. First things first, I was born dead. Um, I was born blue with my umbilical cord around my neck. They had to revive me, and I had to wear corrective leg braces because I was also pigeon-toed. Um, and at 4, I was diagnosed with allergies and asthma, or allergy-induced asthma. I grew up on big pharma, which is I'm doing my best to uh, uh, get away from big pharma. Basically, I mean, I've stopped taking allergy medication. I've stopped taking heartburn medication, um, uh, headache medication, all that. I'm doing holistic medicines and exercises, clearing my lymph nodes, and um, basically just exercising every day, which is something I don't usually do ever. um, I'm usually a very lazy person. And I really love watching television all the time, and I mean, I still love listening to music. Um, my illnesses just progressed as I got older. I had appendicitis. At least that's what they thought it was at one point. The doctors cut me open and saw there was nothing wrong with my appendix, but they took that anyways, and then saw a piece of my colon was twisted and black, so they removed that. That was I was at age 13, 14, something like that. I can't remember. I got bit by a brown recluse spider on my shoulder here. I don't know if you can see that scar, uh, but yeah, it got pretty bad. Around the same time of my age, of that age, 13, 14, something like that. Um, and I was diagnosed with ADD in middle school. I was only medicated for 3 years for that until a lot later. I've been off and on it. Right now, I am on Adderall. Um, and uh, let me see. Uh, Later on, I had kidney stones at the age of 25. Then started getting UTIs. Then later on, like 10 years down the road, pretty much, I found out that it's actually interstitial cystitis, um, which I'm still struggling with because it requires a very strict diet and lifestyle, pretty much. I actually had a flare up over the weekend and last week while I was working. I've been in the marijuana industry for over 12 years. I just started driving like maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago, something like that. I wasn't a very good student. Um, in fact, I took a gun to school in third grade and got expelled. And before then, I was taking several different guns to school, like toy guns and replicas. Um, and I went pacifist. I turned into a pacifist after third grade. I realized that wasn't really the road to go down. When I got hauled away in handcuffs in third grade. um, yeah, and I was a straight F student throughout elementary school and middle school and the beginning of high school. I got held back in first grade and ninth grade. Um, and uh, I had a tutor for the rest of third grade so I can get caught up in fourth grade and everything like that. And I dropped out of high school when I hit 18. And high school was different, so much. Like my mom kicked me out when I hit high school because I started smoking marijuana after I got taken off of Adderall. And she sent me off to my dad's to live in Las Vegas, Nevada. And my dad was a very different parent. um, I was very honest with him when I arrived there in Vegas. We went to TGIF, and I told him that I was smoking marijuana. And he took me home after that and pulled out, well, actually, my stepmom pulled out a very big tray of nugs of marijuana, and it was piled up. And my dad said if I went to school, because I was notorious for ditching school as well, as not doing the schoolwork or the homework and just drawing all the time because I love art and that's the best way I learn is through art. Anyways, my dad made a deal with me. He said if I went to school and got passing grades, and that's all he was asking, like D's and C's, like just passing grades. And I came home and did my chores. He would give me pot, um, marijuana, cannabis. It was illegal at the time. um, just for going to school, doing my chores, being responsible for my um, myself basically, and as a child going to school. Ugh, I really hated school, and that's really what it took. That really, I mean, I went to school every day, and I actually uh, I even got a little bit of like an allowance of money. So and I was obsessed with sweets, sugar. I've been an addict of sugar and caffeine my whole life. And then later on turned into other substances such as well, Adderall. I'm not really addicted to it, but I got prescribed it when I got back in, like when I started working in the marijuana industry. Um, they felt it was necessary just so I could keep my focus. And I was having ailments like my stomach problems, a leaky gut. I had a horrible diet. I still kind of do. I'm working on that as well. And they couldn't really find anything wrong with me. So like I made a suggestion that maybe I was just so stressed out from needing to work and pay bills and do all that, um, and it was just stress that was causing my stomach aches. And um, they actually agreed with that and gave me my Adderall back. Um, and I've been in the marijuana industry for 12 years, just on Adderall. I mean, there was a couple times where I couldn't get my prescription going back because I was moving all over the place. Still, I mean, I'm working my way up from the streets. Like, I got kicked out after high school, like after I dropped out from my dad, and it was mostly actually after I lost my first job and I refused to get another job. Anyways, yeah, I was just a very stubborn child and youngster in general. Um, yeah, so I mean, I've ended up going to Job Corps. I got prescribed it during Job Corps when I was 21, and yeah, it helped a lot with academics, and I was well on my way of getting my academics, my GED as well as diploma. But in Job Corps, they require you require you to pick up a trade as well that they teach there. And I had already gone through a tattoo school earlier when I was like, I think 19, 20, I believe. Yeah. Um, and I considered that my trade. Like I wanted to go into tattooing. I got in trouble for drawing on kids in school all the time and myself. I decided I wanted to be a tattoo artist in middle school. Like, uh, I didn't want to be a carpenter or an auto repair or a nurse or whatever they were offering. Excuse me. So yeah, I've been an addict of legal substances as well as illegal substances all my life. Even though I was anti-drug throughout elementary and middle school, and then I woke up after they took me off of my Adderall and I started smoking pot, whatnot. Anyways, I got straight A's for that marijuana my dad offered me, and I got a little bit of allowance. I think I failed. Man, I'm so ADD. I just go off in tangents. Anyways, and I would go get donuts. I had mentioned I was addicted to sugar. I still am. I would get donuts early in the morning. Like I woke up early, like and left my house by 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, something like that, 4:30. Can't remember exactly what time, but I ran. I ran to a donut shop, which was my favorite donut shop, which was about like maybe a mile away. I would run every morning to fill up with sweets and sugar. And by that time I was also addicted to coffee. I realized that things like sugar and caffeine would help draw my focus for a small, short amount of time, but nevertheless, I still would be able to focus a little bit. And marijuana helped too. So I had like a mixture of marijuana, caffeine, and sugar like all the time. And I'd never drank any water until like age of 25 when I had kidney stones for the first time. And I've been falling off the wagon in between there and now. My I am now 36 and going on to 37. I just started driving like 2 years ago, and therefore I'm not doing LSD and cocaine and all the other drugs I used to do. Uh, uh, Mostly because I'm driving, and I mean I've always had anxiety about it, and um, I figured while I wasn't driving, I might as well get high, right? And now that I am driving, I mean, I still smoke pot and I still have my Adderall prescription, uh, but my Adderall seems to like keep me pretty focused on the road. Uh, um, the marijuana kind of helps with anxiety. I mean, yeah, it does. Actually, it does. It really does help with anxiety. I'm starting to think that I should stop smoking it, maybe, just because I keep. Well, actually, before I go into this next section, I failed to mention that I have been. No, I didn't. I mentioned the IC, interstitial cystitis. Yes. Um, uh, Smoking apparently triggers it. There's so many different things: food, drink, dyes, like red dyes, like any artificial flavoring, yeast. Apparently yeast will flare me up as well. Oxidants, oxalates, oxalate crystals, like um I'm doing my best to eat uh antioxidant stuff and drink antioxidant. I mean, just water, really. I mean, that's pretty much what I'm restricted to. Alcohol is a no-go, even though I had 3 margaritas yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Yeah, yeah, it was yesterday. But yeah, I'm sure I'm gonna be feeling that in my bladder later on. So yeah, like, I just am releasing this video letting people know that um I'm doing what I can to change my ways and feel better, and um I'm going to be getting back into my art. This is me getting myself back into art by making these videos and releasing them. I'm about to work on this necklace here from my father's ashes. He passed away about 5 years ago. Again, bad diet, like, bad habits. You know, he smoked cigarettes. I mean, I smoked cigarettes at the age of 18 and then, like, quit not too long ago. I want to say 6 years ago. No, 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 never mind. I'm sorry. About like 3, 4 years ago. 3, 4 years ago, yeah. It wasn't too long after my dad died, I stopped smoking cigarettes. But I'm still vaping nicotine, which is, I'm gonna be considering quitting that as well. I have a whole nother bottle of juice to go through. My favorite juice. I was a menthol smoker, so I vape the, like, super minty, like, I think this is blue sapphire mint or something like that. It's delicious. Anyways, um, so yeah, I'm recording this to make sure or be able to see my transformation from all the changes I'm making. And I'm staying very positive about it. And so far, I guess I've had some mood swings from, withdrawal of all kinds of substances, mostly sugar, because I've recently have been trying to quit that. I mean, that one's really hard, really, really hard. I think it's harder than cigarettes, man. But yeah, I'm on my path, and I hope you guys see the change too in me as much as I do, or maybe more. I mean, I already feel different, and I already see things differently now. I'm cutting out all the toxicity in the products that I've used. I had no idea about, like, my deodorant, my toothpaste, my laundry soap, um, the products I use to clean surfaces with, like, counters, tables, whatever. Like, there's so much toxicity in the products that are on the shelves now. I can't believe it, and that's another link, or that's another theory that they have linked to interstitial cystitis, um, and pesticides as well, and antibiotics. That's right. I've practically lived off of antibiotics because I've been prone to infection, like, sinus infections, and I had an infected hair follicle in my chin one time. Like, I wasn't a very clean person. Like I said, I was homeless most of my younger 20s. I mean, I'm necessarily homeless, but, like, I was hopping couch to couch and house to house, and uh, I started eventually renting out room to room once I started working in the marijuana industry, because I really felt like I found my niche, and, like, I didn't care if I was only making $11 an hour in Denver or whatever. I was just happy to be in the marijuana industry. Like, I never thought to see marijuana legal ever, and neither did my parents. But somehow it happened, and I don't even vote, so, like, I didn't even have no part in that. Like, I mean, I feel like I have, but that's only because I think we vote every day with every product we buy, with what type of gas we put in our car, what kind of oil we put in our car, what kind of car we buy, or are paying off or whatever. Uh, there is no need to vote when you're buying certain products, because those products go to certain companies that, those people go in and out of politics and Congress and all that shit. Like, you know, especially gas and oil and automotive, and airline, like, all that, like, that's all linked to the politics. Like, and I never wanted any part of it. Like, that's why it took me so long to finally drive. But then again, uh, I also didn't want the responsibility to be responsible for my life as well as other people's lives on the road as well as inside my vehicle. It was just too much for me, I believe. Like, but for the most part, I really just didn't want to fall in line, conform. Like, I was raised with the if your friends if all your friends are off jumping off the bridge, like, they all think that was a great idea, uh doesn't mean you should, like, like, I said that all wrong, but I said it right, but there's a certain flow to it, like, if your friends were jumping off the bridge, would you? That's what it was. Yeah. And that's what I felt like it was. Like, everybody's driving around and getting into accidents and drinking and driving and doing all these other substances and driving. Like, it looked like to me like they were all jumping off a bridge, and I didn't want to do that. Um, but in my age, the older I get, the more tired I am. But I've also realized that's also due to all the toxicity and all the things I was consuming, and like sugar was a big one, caffeine, like, all these different processed foods. Highly processed foods is another one that flares me up now. I've done so much damage to my body with just the products that are on the shelves, and the prescriptions that I was given, and most likely also all the other drugs that I did on the streets, all the illegal substances. I've done a wide range of hallucinogenics and stimulants. I've even tried opiates, or I think I smoked heroin at one point, and I threw up, and I didn't like it because I don't like throwing up, and I don't like feeling tired. um, uh, Marijuana at least helped slow me down a little bit, slow my ADD down, for me to actually, like, not give a shit about, like, why the teacher gave me the assignment. I just said, okay, I'll do it. Um, but yeah, it's been a very interesting life. Most people, from what I have gathered and heard, and I talk to people all the time about, how they experienced the academic uh, school life of, especially public schooling out here. I was raised in public schooling, um, and most people, like, did the work in elementary and middle school, and like, I met a lot of people that were very proud of their grades that they earned and everything. It's all based off of competition, which is I've never agreed with anyways. I never been a sports person. Anyways, and then they started tapering off once they hit high school. They started smoking pot, and then, like, started ditching. I did that all backwards. Um, so, if any of y'all out there, like, share the similar or somewhat similar experience as I have, um, uh, feel free to comment on it, I guess, and let me know. But anyways, that's a very brief story. I summarized it a lot, but I just want y'all to know I'm no saint, but I'm no Satan either. Um, I am doing what I can to change. I became spiritual when I moved to Vegas, actually. Now that I think about it, I mean, I didn't believe in the Christian religion that I was raised on. I couldn't even tell you what kind of what type of Christianity it was exactly. I mean, my mom took me to predominantly black churches, or African American. I apologize. And I uh, grew up around it, so I got comfortable around them. I lived in ghettos, all over like Aurora and Denver area, like Lakewood and whatnot, like very poor neighborhoods. And the population was predominantly African American, and I also lived, I mean, in Delta, Colorado, not too far from here. It was at least the school that I went to was predominantly Hispanic. Um, excuse me. Um, so yeah, I've grown up around several different cultures. I mean, every time I visited out to Delta with my parents or my mom, I mean, we would go to her father's church, which was a lot of white people, and man, their gospel is so different. I prefer African American like gospel music. Like it just had so much more soul in it and so much more feeling. I guess my grandfather's gospel was had feeling too, but it just like it seemed so mournful. It was very sad. I don't know. Um, uh, Southern gospel seems to be so much more uplifting, and they can feel the spirit in their voice. You can feel the spirit and hear the spirit in their voice. I love it. Um, but yeah, I became more spiritual when I hit high school. I read the book, The Power of Now, and started practicing meditation, and I started looking at things in more of a positive light. I was very gothic in middle school and a little bit in elementary school, but I was just a dark child in general in elementary. Um, yeah, with the whole gun thing and everything, whatever. But I'm passive now, and I've been passive for a very long time, and I've been walking this earth for way too long. I used to say, it was a small joke of mine when I didn't drive. I don't drive because I'm driven. Uh, Mostly, as you know, I'm driven within. Um, but it was also uh, kind of play on words because everybody drove me around. uh, which isn't really that funny to the people that are driving. But I'm fine. I'm feeling that drive even more the more I drive. And I have a car. I don't own it yet, but I'm doing my best to pay it off. Uh, it's hard for me to keep work with all the illnesses that I have, so I'm doing again what I can to cut out big pharma because I have a big feeling that's what's keeping me sick. Anyways, again, this is No One Is Real, and I am signing off. Peace, y'all.